Welcome to our American Stories Travel webinar today. We are here to explore winter magic in New York City through curated itineraries and romantic escapes for your VIP travelers. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to your two guest speakers today. Our first guest speaker is Audra Fuest. She is the Business Development Manager. And then we also have Ronnetta Stanley. She is the Experience Designer who specializes in New York City. So welcome to both of you. Audra, we'll toss it to you first.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining today's webinar. As Lee mentioned, I'm Audra Fuest, Business Development Manager here at American Stories Travel. Well, we are winding down on that super busy season in New York City, so we're coming up on the perfect time for clients to visit the normally packed Big Apple. And today is all about the value of visiting New York City that time of year. Before we jump in, just wanted to give you a little refresher on who we are, whether you're new to us or if it's been a while. American Stories Travel is a US-based destination management company and tour operator. We've been around for over 30 years, and we offer extensive experiences in, of course, New York City, but also Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, Charleston, and Savannah. Thanks to our network of amazing vendors and local experts, we're able to create extraordinary, authentic local experiences, lasting memories, and incredible stories for your clients to share, not just tours and itineraries. So what are we going to talk about today? So first, we'll talk about why New York City is the perfect winter destination for your clients and feature some of those curated experiences that you can sell. We'll then highlight the romance of the Big Apple, including Valentine's Day options, and we'll end with talking about how easy it is to partner with us and how to work with us. So with that, and of course, we'll end with Q&A, as Lee mentioned. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ronnetta, one of our expert experience designers and native New Yorker, to talk about all things New York City this winter.
Thank you, Audra, for handing that over. As Audra said, my name is Ronnetta Stanley. I am one of our experience designers. So you guys get assigned to work with us directly for your clients, and we work with you collectively to build a lovely experience, you know, super exceeding expectations, etc. So it's what I love to do. I love to just kind of get unique ideas and put them into something nice. And so I'm very excited to come here and speak to you guys about winter in New York City. It's one of those things as well where, like, okay, she said I'm a native New Yorker. I like to call myself an honorary New Yorker. I'm a Baltimore native, but I lived in New York for well over 10 years, on and off over the years still, and it's my second home, hands down. So I've been able to experience the city in all facets. So I feel like I bring a little bit of like insider information for, especially if you're not as familiar with New York City. So why now? Why bring your clients to the, you know, we're hitting into this a bit of a slower season where right now everyone's in New York for the holidays. From Thanksgiving up until New Year's Eve, New York City is the tourist capital of the world, in my biased opinion. And so it's lovely and amazing and a once of a lifetime thing. But for some of our clients that want to kind of avoid the bigger crowds and kind of want to experience New York in a different way, this is the perfect time for them to come. So, you know, they want the lure and the nostalgia of winter in New York without those big, you know, tourists kind of like, it moves well in New York, but it can get a bit busy. So what type of clients would like that type of thing? Seniors, families with young children, you know, solo travelers, where you want to experience the excitement and the energy, but again, not with, you know, every single person traveling there for the year. Also with, you know, better value, you're gonna, the prices kind of, we're not going to say they drop, but it's much more affordable to travel to New York from January to March, because from that last end of the year, everything is surged. It's just the way the city is. So if you have a client that wants this type of VIP experience, but they would like to save a little bit, this is a good way to kind of like give them that as well. And, you know, winter has its charm in New York City. So, you know, one thing I love about it is there's always something to do year round, 24/7. So, but specifically in the winter months, there's ice skating at all the parks almost, cozy hot chocolates, cafes, lounges, indoor experiences, outdoor experiences, beautiful skylines, One of my favorite parks in the city is Bryant Park. Central Park gets all of the buzz and all of the, light shine. Like everybody goes to Central Park. But for me as a person that's lived in New York, they have a winter village in New York City in Bryant Park every single year. It's my favorite place to be. It's always like unique fashion designers and little gifts and different unique food. And I think like this gives you a little something extra special in New York that I think most people may miss if they don't know about it. So it's our job to kind of bring some of these extra experiences their way. Of course, cozy hot chocolate under a nice, weather controlled environment is always lovely in New York City. And then again, if you're like me, that I like the winter, but not the cold so much, there's plenty to do indoors, from museums, etc. Like I said, rooftop views that are lovely in the wintertime as well. You can get everything you can get throughout the year, but you get to experience it with a little, I guess you would say, on the tail end of some of the holiday season, also as we, pace towards the spring in New York City. So I kind of think that winter in New York City is the non-touristy tourist visit to New York. The sophisticated traveler that loves culture and nostalgia. They're okay with the busy city, but they kind of want to do it on their own pace at their own time. And I think this time of year is perfect for that. So Audra, moving on. So we can kind of jump into, some of the higher selling winter itineraries. Here at American Stories Travel, we take all the curating into our hands. I love our product team because they're out here finding these really unique and special, exclusive kind of experiences for our clients, and they put these things together in such a lovely, beautiful way. So whether you're, a foodie, an art lover, you love Broadway, you want your own private VIP experience, or you want to do more pampering and VIP shopping, we have a little bit of something for everyone. With that being said, everything we do isn't packages. Every single day I create a specialized custom proposal or itinerary or a program for our clients. For example, like I had a family like a couple months ago, and the 13-year-old was obsessed with The Lightning Thief, right? So, and if you guys don't know, The Lightning Thief is a book that deals with like Greek mythology. I happen to know about it because it used to be my little brother's favorite book. But we were able to take something that we have that will fall within our normal itinerary, like a Manhattan Highlights that takes you all over the city, and customize it to stop at all the places along the movie and The Lightning Thief to make it extra special for them. So it's not just about, hey, everything's plug and play. We can take something that we've already created, and not only created, vet it with the vendors, with the experience, make sure it flows, but then customize that to something extra special for your clients, or create something completely new. If their interests just fall, just completely kind of in a niche area, we can build that for them as well. So that's one of the things that I love about that we do as well. One of my favorite things to talk about is the culinary experience. I'm a big foodie, so wherever I travel, it's all about the food for me. So I love also finding some little like special restaurants and things like that. I mean, anybody that knows New York City, it is the place for foodies to come, from Michelin star restaurants to that hidden gem only New Yorkers know about. We can kind of create that ideal culinary experience for everyone. Even grandma's childhood neighborhood in Brooklyn, which is a real travelers that are coming to New York for Christmas week, that I just put this together for them. Grandma's 85 years old, and she grew up in Brooklyn. She's bringing her whole family. It's a family of about 8. So we have all of these really cool activities, but we customize a day out in a Jewish history tour for the family throughout Manhattan, but then also stops along in all the neighborhoods she grew up in to spend time with her family and share some of that nostalgia. They're going through her high school. So all of these type of special things that we're able to build. So just an example of how we can take something kind of simple. And she did mention like, oh, if this place is still around that she used to get sandwiches from. That's why, a foodie experience isn't always just about restaurants or just about, the Michelin star. We do all of that. But sometimes it's just about something special that means something to someone. And I think those moments are kind of what we're able to provide you guys the access to for your clients, to be able to really wow them and give them some memories that last. So, we have like here in New York, I mean, I feel like every bite, every view, every landmark tells a story. You know, everyone comes for the pizza. You know, everybody's here. They're like, oh, I want to have, you know, have New York pizza. But we author experiences like, you know, having a VIP pizza making class with a chef, you know, that's taking it to the next level. That's immersing your clients in what that very New York thing is, but kind of giving them something special. These type of things are also great for people that frequent New York City, that want something different. Oh, we've been to the restaurants, we've done this, you know, so we can do a 3-course meal for the family to build and make and create together. Not, and especially if you have teenagers, we all know they're TikToking and doing this. That attention span is very short. So if you're able to create a family activity that puts them in the moment, I think those things are special as well. I can't say we'll always win with, you know, over TikTok, but we can try. We can try. So I think like things like that, the pizza making course, as well as you know, we do pizza and gelato, where it's a walking tour with history and culture, and you're immersed in the city. You're eating and talking and learning, and these type of interactive things are really great as well for teenagers. And, you know, New York City is a melting pot. The food reflects that, you know, so I love that no matter where you go, you can experience all these really great cultures and experiences and tastes and flavors. It's one of my favorite. You go one block here and get this, one block there and go that. There, go to, you know, get specialty bagels from Queens, and then go, you know, get a specialty pizza here, all those things. But we can put it all together where it feels cohesive and clean and simplistic for your clients. And, you know, one of the things that they love. Also, outside of that, like we do private food tours, walking tours. We also do like a Chelsea Market, High Line, and Hudson Yards tour, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but the High Line is basically like an above ground park almost. It's like a little walkway that takes you from one part of the city all the way to another. And it's a really beautiful stroll, especially after you've had tastings at Chelsea Market, one of my favorite places to go in the city. You know, you grab well, I don't drink coffee, but I do love matcha. So grab a matcha, sit there, have a lovely lunch. But our clients can come as a group in a private, small group tour, have those tastings, have a guy with them, give them the history and culture. And again, we can always customize it for them. Hey, we want to go to Chelsea Market, but then we also want to do this thing or that thing. We can make that happen. So, you know, New York and the food scene, we can always grow and expand. And then, you know, I always love to put people with a great view. I love food with the view, whether I'm in New York on the beach, wherever the case may be. And so we always look for those like special little spots where not only are you getting great food, but you're getting a great view as well. Which brings me to kind of our next set of experiences, which are for art lovers. New York has so much culture. The art is what drew me to the city as well originally. So it's something about all the creativity pulsing throughout New York, I think, that makes it kind of the backdrop of the city with a lot of history. You know, everywhere you walk, there's beauty, there's art, and there's creativity. And so with that being said, I mean, we do all the traditional things, you know, we do private led museum tours, behind the scenes, pre-opening tours for some of your clients that are going to want a more VIP exclusive experience with the arts, but more, you know, they're still in a public place, but they have a VIP experience with that. So even the Frisk Museum has just reopened, so we have private tours for that as well. This is something that's kind of like hasn't been, you know, open to the public in this way in a very long time. So a lot of people want to get in and kind of experience that, see what's new, see what's been renovated, all of those things. And so we can have an actual guide with them, or we can organize private tours at the museums as well. And then we also have private art curators and guides that have access to some of those closed studios that you can't just call and get in. You know, so we have designated guides and partners that we have been working with for many, many years, that if you have an art collector as a client, we can create that day for them. If they want to start the day by doing a pre-opening tour at MoMA and then go and hop around to some, you know, kind of newer artists or an artist that they randomly heard about, we can get into those. So, you know, sometimes I think when we have these set itineraries, people forget to ask, but always ask us. You know, we can't do everything, but we certainly try. So, you know, sometimes it's just, you know, sparking that seed of, you know, of an idea that we could even, well, hey, well, we can't get this done, but we could certainly do this and create something very special for the clients. So I always say, just ask us. You never know. Because if we can make it happen, trust and believe American Stories Travel will move some things around to make it go. Some of the other fun art things that I love in the city, you know, you might have fashion designers, or, you know, kids that are into fashion, college students in the fashion that want to, you know, maybe tour FIT or go into that. I put that all under, you know, the art umbrella. Or like kids that want a fun art activity. We actually have a Brooklyn graffiti tour where, you know, it's a walking tour. So they'll see real life graffiti and actually create their own art in a workshop. Another really cool thing, I think, for teenagers. So it just spans, you know, it's not just like, you know, oh, we're just going to the museum. In the art lover space, we can really do a lot. So, and I drop all these little, you know, stories just so you guys can kind of also start thinking about, hey, how can I present this to my client, you know, in a way that, you know, will really get them excited, and all of that. Moving forward to one of my favorites. I mentioned the arts brought me to New York. I was absolutely a theater kid. So being immersed in theater and being able to walk down the street and see artists and shows and all of these things really inspired me in a big way when I was younger, and being able to kind of convey that to, like, everybody comes and wants to see a Broadway show, but we can give them Broadway experiences. You know, we can put them with one of the leads in the cast for dinner, so you can actually have dinner with a Broadway star. So really cool thing for kids that are looking to get in the arts, or people that just love the theater and want to get up close and personal, and also some people that just want to do a little something special that everyone else hasn't done. These are really cool for that. We also have, like, for Harry Potter, there's a magic workshop that you can come in and experience. I had a kid that, like, just loved magic and creativity, so, you know, we put them in the workshop. They absolutely loved it. And then I had some travelers from overseas that came from Brazil, actually, that wanted to, they worked in the theater space in their home country, and they wanted to come and kind of do a bit of a behind the scenes exploration in Broadway. So we were able to offer them the workshop, or, you know, sometimes we do have ins. Broadway has put many restrictions on, you know, their backstage tours since the pandemic, but we're starting to see it come back in pockets. And what we offer it gives you an answer to that. So they could do like a full mini concert with a Broadway star. It may be offsite. Typically they're offsite, but we can make it very, very special for them. So dinner with a Broadway star, behind the scenes tours to a point, we can do, if we can make it happen. It's not us, it's just the theaters haven't fully lifted that restriction. But I think this is going to lift more in the future. But we get such great feedback from our clients, just being that up close and personal with a Broadway star, and even museums, like walking through the Broadway Museum. I had a woman, she was obsessed with cabaret. I built a whole a literal just itinerary that was nothing but Broadway shows and experiences and walking tours of Broadway. And, you know, when we get those reviews back from the clients and they say, you know, via the agents, and they say, wow, this was like magical and we loved it, that's what we do it for. So a little bit of my excitement, you know, I get to live vicariously, you know, through some of our guests. So definitely also encourage them if they, you know, we love the feedback, all feedback, so that we can continue to just offer more and make sure that we are continuing to grow and be able to provide great experience and memories to your clients. So just a sidebar, please feel free to, you know, communicate with us after your clients travel as well. And so, but yeah, we can also get, you know, the normal stuff, premium Broadway tickets, you know, best seats in house. We can get those things. If they're available, we can usually do it. You know, we always have, like, try to put you at dinner in the theater district. So our clients are very close, and you can, you know, they have all of that access. And that's all on Broadway for now. And then, you know, we do what we do really, really well are the private experiences, you know, a really curated, lovely journey of must-see things for your client. You know, maybe we mix and match. Maybe that, you know, they love Broadway, they love art, and then they also, you know, want to experience, you know, a food tour. We put that all together. So a lot of these, and you'll have access to some of these itineraries. These are, you know, also meant to be a starting point. Let's give them some ideas to say what their ideal experience would be. And also you bring your expertise in to kind of let us know, I've worked with this family before, they're into this type of thing. The kids are into this. All of that information you give us will be able to make us tailor a really amazing experience, and a kind of remarkable, unforgettable is the goal every single time. But one thing about me, one thing I do love about some of these private experiences that we offer, because they are great for people coming back, first time visitors, etc. But, you know, we do occasionally, we'll do a fam trip. I'll never forget our Brooklyn one last year. Now, mind you, I lived in Brooklyn many years. I've walked through many of these neighborhoods, but our guy, who was absolutely amazing, I can't stress enough how, you know, we pick these guides, and they are vetted. Many of them have worked with us for many, many years. They're knowledgeable, they're unique, they're special. They bring a little something extra than just giving you extra information. And when I say I learned so many things about neighborhoods I lived in, worked in, walked in, all and throughout, then it gave me a new lens of New York City. And I said, wow, no matter how many times you come to this city, if you have the right guide, it can open your eyes up to so many things that you never even would have crossed paths with. So I share that to say, like, when we put our specialized guides for these private experiences, they're going to just provide a little something extra that I just feel like you can't get if you're just in a group tour somewhere and they're just, you know, over the intercom. We really try to provide that special one-on-one and customized service. So I'm constantly learning things every time I travel and learn as well. And then of course we have, you know, the holidays coming up. We have, it's the, you know, the season for lovers. We're in holiday season. And then we're gonna, you know, some people want to come to New York for the shopping and the pampering experience. So we can jump to that. So we'll have, you can do everything in New York from, hey, if you want a guide to go with you while you just go to some of your favorite stores, we can do that. We also have personal shoppers that will travel with you and kind of, hey, you want to go to boutiques in Soho? We can make that happen. You have a specialized store that maybe you want to get some private access to. I've had women come in to do wedding gown shopping, you know, with the driver and with a personal shopper. So, you know, really let us know like what your clients are into, what they're looking for. The more information you can give us, the better we can service them in that way. Also, one of my favorite things, like little getaways. We get many multi-generational trips, and we also get a lot of girls trips or ladies trips, which, you know, where you want to kind of combine, where it makes sense to do shopping and pampering together. I don't know if you guys can, if you notice this middle picture here, that is the QC Spa on Governor's Island. It is one of my new favorites in New York City. I'm a big spa girl, so I've been to kind of like all the spas all over the city. This is one of my new favorites, and it's really good for, yeah, like a ladies trip or a girls trip where, you know, you're doing fun things. What I love about it is it's year round. So you can also, it's like outdoor jetted, like hot, you know, hot tubs and jetted pools. So when you go there, you can spend the entire day. You actually take a ferry out to Governor's Island because it's not accessible by vehicle, which is all taken care of you. So even for your clients, we would, you know, have a private driver pick them up from their hotel, take them to the ferry, they'd hop on the ferry, go across, and then right there, a few steps away from where you come in, there's this beautiful, lovely spa. You're there all day long, inside, outside, many rooms. It's everything from saunas to, again, jetted pools, and just, you can really have fun. I call it like an amusement park for women. Like it's, or men, no discrimination, but it's my favorite place. I feel like that's my new version of what an amusement park for as an adult, where you can just decompress. And seeing the city at sunset from Governor's Island is one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed. And it's really nice for a big group. But if you have like a private couple that want to be a little more solo, hey, we might put them, you know, for a couples massage at the Plaza or one of our other spas, and maybe do a high tea and then maybe a rooftop dinner at the Robert, or something like that. So it just depends on your client. Again, the more we know about them, the more we can customize to them. This is going to be a perfect fit, the QC spot, for some guests, and for some guests it may not be. But you could mix a VIP day of shopping, pampering, all of the above. It would be lovely. And again, I personally went here and we did the whole thing. I love walking through some of what we offer from start to finish. And I was able to experience that as well. We just got out of our Thanksgiving season, but I was also able to attend that. So I think it's important to kind of experience some of these as the guest so you can see what it really feels like. And we try to make sure we're vetting these things and that no stone is left unturned. Like, we're thinking of everything so that you don't have to worry. Your clients are happy and everybody's happy. So we could just jump to the last one. Add-ons, we can always do that. We have these itineraries and things that we give you guys as kind of like a guide to go off of, like I said, or we can customize something, but we always have little special add-ons to make any itinerary a little special. So we, of course, do helicopter tours. We have chauffeured city tours where, it's not a group tour. We specializes in small VIP personal tours. So you're in your family of 4, you and your big group of 10, or even your larger group. This is what we specialize in, an itinerary curated to your particular guest. And even the holidays, they're more than just, I think, I think it's really just about thinking outside the box. So even though on the holiday, this ice skating at iconic rinks and the museum tours, all of these things are little special details we can use to kind of enhance and highlight a little bit of everything. All right, and we can jump to this one. Yep. We also have like a little bit of a holiday experience. So, like, for example, we have a full day Valentine's Day package that's already put together. It already has, dinners, spa treatments, all of that package together. And just to give your clients, well, it could be more than just, cards, chocolates, and jewelry, giving them those special experiences that last and they can come back to, even like a dinner cruise around the Hudson, which is what you see in that picture there, which is a public cruise. So we'll have some clients, but it's, you're in your VIP section, you have champagne, all of the above. Some people like to feel like a VIP amongst the crowds. And some of my clients, I've done this many times as well, where I will charter a private yacht for them to be right on the Hudson, even in the wintertime, which is really, everything's, climate controlled and everything. So, they can still have that even more of an exclusive special activity, and which is really lovely. I get great feedback about that. Of course, you're on the water in the winter time, so something to think about, but it's really, really beautiful to see the city from the water in some of those colder ones. And so, yeah, we could do that. We could do surprise birthdays, which we've done as well. And even, some proposal worthy moments. I think it's all about the details when it comes to proposals. So if we know that, or like I've had 50th, 60th, 85th birthdays, surprise birthdays, we are going to do everything to make sure that those surprises remain a surprise and that they are special. All right, we can move on. Thank you. And listen, we handle everything from touchdown to takeoff. Your clients are in great hands with us, and I'm passionate about what we do. We're all passionate about, kind of putting our best foot forward. And it's always about surprising our clients that had done it and seen it all before, or people that are experiencing New York City for the first time. Like, I had a family, it's a little, outside of New York, but sometimes we'll do, like, some families want to do, they're coming this close, so they'll come to New York City and then they'll do an add-on. We had a family that did an add-on where they flew to Niagara Falls during these early year months, and it would just wow them beyond compare. It was, I won't say their name, but I'll call them the PK family. And they gave us a glowing review because they even appreciated that we understood how to make those connections, getting them from New York City and making this just like a seamless process for them. And I would just say, no matter what we do, like, it's really never the same. It really isn't, because your clients are different. So everything we offer them will be a little different as well. Of course, we do the personalized activities, curated activities, and our job is to make you guys look like the hero. We do all the work behind the scenes. We may never, and typically we never even speak to your clients. We learn them through you guys. So the more information you give us, the more we're interacting on what your clients are really looking for and how we can wow them is the best way that we can put you guys in a position to be absolute rock stars. We're just the silent little, I guess we're the travel elves working behind the scenes, to make you all look extra special. And if you have questions, if you have this crazy idea that you're like, well, can we pull this up? Let us know. Again, we're not complete miracle workers, but I see us pull some miracles out all the time. So I'm looking, kind of forward to partnering with you guys. I wanted to give you guys a little insight as an experience designer, what it's like from my side and how our process of how we're even thinking about approaching some of these visits to New York or other areas that we service, like how we even approach that. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I'll be around to, of course, ask more questions, but I'm going to hand it back over to Audra, who I think has a little more information for you guys as well. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I still learn so much from our experience designers, and especially for New York City, which is so immense. I lived there for many years, and it's impossible to know everything that's going on. So our experience designers, and specifically Ronnetta, just experts, and they can help your clients really get the most out of the experience. So going on to how to work with us. So first, recommend you get registered with us. Just head to americanstoriestravel.com/passion, or you can scan that QR code you see on the slide. That will take you to a link to register via our travel advisor portal. There, once you're registered and in, you'll find a complete catalog of all of our experiences, which, as Ronnetta talked about, everything can be personalized, curated, mixed and matched. It's just really a starting point to get your clients excited and get those interests aligned. But again, everything can be personalized. You'll also find marketing materials, downloadable white label brochures, which can be sent right to your clients. Then when you're ready to book experiences in New York City this winter or in any of our other cities or time periods, you can submit a lead either directly to me, and you'll see my email on the last slide, or send to sales@ameristories.com, or you can submit it right through the portal or our website. Just be sure, as Ronnetta mentioned, to include as much information as you can, the dates, city, obviously, number of people, ages, so that things can be personalized to if there's small children, teenagers, very different experiences there. Must-dos, desires, interests, hotel needs, and budget is always helpful. Then one of our experience designers, like Ronnetta, will craft a personalized proposal based on all of those details. Normally that happens within 24 to 72 hour window, depending on the time of year. Right now it's really busy, so it may be a little bit longer, closer to that 72 hours. Once it's perfect and your clients agree and they're excited and they're ready to go, they'll book and pay, and then you'll be assigned to a dedicated operations manager who will review all those services, confirm the details, make sure everything is tailored and booked to your client's preferences. They'll then submit the final itinerary to you. And then after that, your clients head out to create their travel story and create those memories, and they'll have a 24/7 support line while they travel. Then you'll receive your commission 30 days after travel. And one thing to note is that every element is commissionable. Our standard commission is 12%, but hotels are at 10%, and then our attraction and tickets, various tickets are at 5%. So with that, we're really excited and appreciative of you being here today, and look forward to working with you to create those memories for your clients this winter and beyond. After the webinar, as Lee mentioned, you'll get a link to the recording, also the link to the travel agent portal. We encourage you to watch the replay. Ronnetta talked about a lot of things, and share it with your colleagues, and reach out to any of us if you have any any questions that come up after the webinar. We're really here to partner with you and to help you and help your clients. So don't be shy, reach out and say hello. So with that, we thank you for joining, and we can open it up for questions.
All right, thank you. Well, this was fantastic. You were very thorough. Some of the questions that were submitted, I know you answered during the webinar, so I've gotten feedback about that already, but I do have a few questions, and I want to invite the audience, if you have questions, send them in now through the question box. It should be on the right-hand side of your screen. If it's minimized, just click the little orange button with the white arrow. So Ronnetta, we've got an accessibility question. I'm sure you get that a lot. Can you tell us how are you able to craft experiences for people who have mobility issues?
Oh, absolutely. And the sooner we know that, the better. We've had complete tours of people that everyone was accessible. Of course, even though New York is a very accessible city, some things may not be. So we'll have workarounds, or we're able to suggest to you, hey, we could get them to this museum here. You know, we could bring wheelchairs. We always recommend, if they need one for this day, we could certainly secure one. Sometimes it's a little easier to have it through the hotel. That way, it's there, it's stationary, so they know, you know. But if they need, you guys need our help with that, we can do it as well. But yeah, certainly we do these. We get these type of requests all the time, and you know, just because you have mobility limitations doesn't mean that should limit you from experiencing anything in life. So we make it our business to not only, you know, make these type of tours, for lack of a better phrase, accessible, but also feel just like a tour anybody else would have, where they don't feel like a odd person out. We try to make it seamless, easy, and we try to pre-think those things through. So absolutely, we get that all the time. And of course, it takes a little bit of extra, like we have vehicles that are accessible as well. So, you know, it's a conversation we certainly need to have with you one-on-one, so that we're making sure that we are making the right provisions for your client. But yeah, we get it all the time, and we're even growing in those to offer even more in the coming years. So, yep.
Excellent, thank you. Let's see here. Do you have a minimum budget that you work with?
We typically do a minimum budget of no less than 2,000, and I do want to put a little clarification on it. Audra, let me know if this is stepping into your realm a little bit. But we do try to do at least 2 to 3 services as well. So even if you're hitting that minimum budget, but you know, if we don't feel like we like to do a full itinerary. So even if it's just like, you know, transfers a tour of Manhattan with a guide and driver, and then, you know, your accommodations, that would count. So just, you know, always send your inquiries to us, but just keep in mind that we do kind of have that minimum of services plus $1 minimum, but we work with anyone. But it just, you know, some clients they may not be a good fit for, and that's okay. But I always recommend you just reach out to us and ask, so that if there's something we can do or make an exception, then we'll certainly do so. And Audra, you could kind of chime in on that as well, because I know that falls a little in your realm as well.
That's great. No, you covered everything. Thank you. It's perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, I think this question is about invoicing. If an advisor wanted you to add their planning fee onto the invoice, are you able to put that on without it being are you able to build that into your quote so that it is not transparent?
Let me reach out to you after the call. Normally we don't. That's a conversation we can have though.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And then the last question, I think you covered this, but to a certain extent, we have a question about traveling with infants, and if, you know, as you're crafting these itineraries, if that's something you're able to take into account as well, if clients do have needs surrounding traveling with infants.
Yes, of course. Even, you know, we can secure child seats for the vehicles, as well as, you know, some things are just going to be your knowledge of, like, I'm not going to put, like, I could have a full day, but with an infant, there's going to need to be breaks and spaces, and check in with the family, you know, just to kind of be mindful of the ages of the children. So that's another by default, a good point you brought up, if you're able to give us the ages of the children, as well as the name of the lead traveler in the beginning, just for notes reasons only, just to have that travel with the booking. The ages of the kids are very important, because I know if I'm dealing with teenagers, I'm going to present a different proposal than, let's say, toddlers or even infants. Yeah, but we have infants all the time. We'll have like a 1-year-old that's a family of 6, and the 1-year-old's there too. And that's why I like having a vehicle sometimes. That way, if it's the middle of the day and the baby gets fussy, then they can always pop into the vehicle with mom or vice versa. I like having that added layer of just for the families. I think it works really well, especially with our VIP clients. Hopefully that answers your question. Basically, yes, we can deal with the infants. And not only that, we're thinking ahead to make sure that it's seamless and we have some workarounds if need be, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Good deal. All right, well, that was the last question I had. So I will turn it back to you and Audra to share your closing comments.
Great. Thank you, Lee. Again, thank you to everybody for joining today. And as I mentioned, just don't be shy. Reach out, questions, to say hello, anything and everything. So we look forward to hopefully working with you and hearing from you, and wishing you a wonderful holiday season.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I look forward to working with some of you in the future.
All right. Well, this is wonderful. What a great way to end the year. This was our last webinar at Travel Webinars. This was our last webinar of the year. So wishing you all a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you again in 2026. So with that, we wish you all the very best for the end of this holiday season, and we will see you in January. This concludes our webinar. Goodbye, everyone.